Ansa Alabora. I'm a dating and relationship coach. On this channel, we aim at raising significant ladies by sharing high-value secrets that can enable them build all-round success in their lives, careers, and relationships. Therefore, I welcome you on board. Today, we shall be talking about a very interesting topic. I'm happy that I'll be sharing these tips with you because this is what my clients ask me when we have one-on-one counseling. So I decided to make this video so that all of you ladies around me will benefit from. Sit tight as you enjoy this ride. How do I talk to a guy about settling down? It's a $1 million question. You'll be dating this guy for a while and you discover he's not saying anything about the future. So you want to know, how do you now talk about this issue? And that's what this video is all about. In this video, I'll try to break it down into simple steps, and if you can actually follow these steps as I prescribe, you'll increase your chances. I want us to understand that there's difference in meaning when it comes to settling down. For a lady, settling down means getting married to the love of her life, and together they build or start up a family. That's how simple that thing will be. But to a guy, his own definition of settling down is quite different. I'll be listing out what settling down means to a man, especially when the idea of settling down comes from the woman. Number one, it means no more chasing and playing around with other ladies. This includes sex with other girls. So when you talk to a guy about settling down, what runs through his mind is this: you want me to stop chasing and playing with other girls. That is, stop having sex with other ladies and only stick to you. That is what settlement means to a man. Secondly, it means no more clubbing or partying with my guys like before. This includes traveling at will. The third point is taking full responsibility of you and the forthcoming children. So I will have to be a father. And in actual sense, settling down for a man means entanglement, especially when the idea of settling down comes from the woman. Let me tell you something very important before we even go further. Before any man can think of settling down, there are factors that need to be in place first before any decision he makes becomes concrete. Number one, he has to define himself. What do I mean? Who is he? Is he a lawyer? Is he a doctor? Is he an artist? Who is he? If a man has not yet defined who he is, then the decision of settling down becomes secondary. So no matter how he loves you, he can't make that decision if he had not defined himself yet. Number two, how much does he earn? Weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. If a man doesn't have an idea of how much he earns, because see, getting married or settling down is all about responsibility. So the guy has to first of all define how much is he earning. When he defines that, then he can make the right decision. Then the third one, which is, where is his address? Does he have an address? Where does he stay? Does he still stay in the basement of his mother? Does he still squat with his friends? If a man doesn't have an address, then any decision will not make sense. Except a man is able to define these three things, settling down will never be in his view. If peradventure the guy have not defined himself and you force the guy to make commitment, when he gets married to you, he'll be able to define these three criteria I mentioned earlier. And at that time, he will now go out and choose the girl of his choice. Please take note of this. Because you made him make a decision before he defined himself. Now that he has married you, he has gotten an identity. Then he will now go out and look for the girl that suits him. Second disadvantage of hanging around such guys is this. If you assist him to climb up the ladder, when he reaches the top, by that time you will not fit his criteria. You will look too old for him, or you will not fit into his life, because by then he has what it takes and he can see any lady he wants. In that time, most ladies say, I loved him, I gave him everything. When he became this, he left me. Yes, that is what happens, because by then his tastes change. I've met a lot of guys who told me, should they continue in this relationship out of pity? Because they don't relate on the same pedestal anymore. He's higher than her, and he doesn't feel anything like before. When a guy has not defined himself, please be very careful on how you hang around him. If you're actually gaining value, please give us a thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed, I think this is the best moment to do so. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Anytime we release our videos, you'll be the first to be notified. So now, I'll be giving you tips on how to create the right atmosphere for the conversation. But I also want you to plan this in advance, like 2 or 3 months before the actual conversation with him, so you don't just bump into him and start discussing the issue of settling down. The number one thing to do to prepare the ground for the conversation is create scarcity. Let me start by saying this. If you are already cohabiting, staying in his house, or he is staying in your house, this thing I'm about to say will not make sense. So first of all, you guys have to be apart. The reason is this. Packing out will create the needed scarcity. He will begin to miss you. Because if you are in that house and apply this principle, it won't work. So first of all, we want to work on his side. We want to make sure he's missing you. So you create a vacuum. Let him miss you. But if you are not cohabiting with him, then reduce how you see him often. If you usually see him 3 or 4 times a week, or you come over the weekend to see him every week or every fortnight, but all I'm trying to say is reduce your physical contact with him. Because all we are trying to achieve is creating scarcity. So make sure you reduce that contact. Secondly, make sure you stop initiating contact. What do I mean? Stop initiating, calling him in the morning, calling him in the afternoon. Teach him to always initiate contact. Let him call you first, then you reply. Stop initiating contact is also part of him missing you. Then the third point is stop replying his chat immediately, especially on WhatsApp or Facebook or wherever you guys are chatting. Make sure you read his messages, but don't reply immediately. At least delay, even if it is 5-10 minutes. Then you reply. That thing will create scarcity. Because why am I saying this? The usual you replies him immediately. The usual you always initiates contact. How are you? Have you eaten up? You always show him too much care. That's the usual you. We want the abnormal you to come out, so that we can achieve this scarcity we want. The second point is make sure you add value to his life. That's why I said plan this thing ahead. It's not something you just wake up overnight and say, I want us to talk about this. No, don't do that. So in these 2-3 months that you have, make sure you add value to his life. Number one, make sure you appreciate him often. Any opportunity you have to be around him, make sure it becomes a memorable one. 2, buy him gifts. The third thing I want you to do is to encourage him to begin to pursue his dream. He was having plans to go back to school or something. Make sure anytime you meet, you talk about that dream of his. So how far with admission? Have you gotten the admission? Oh, that course that you say you're going to enroll. Have you enrolled? Please, I want you to enroll. Don't show him you care so much about his welfare. You begin to see that you're so caring about his affairs. Encourage him. If you have tapes or videos, or if you have anything within your power that can help him draw closer to his dream, please go ahead. Number 3, move your attention from him to yourself. What do I mean? Practice self-love. Men love women who loves themselves. Self-love is all about also taking care of yourself, eating healthy, having time with your inner self, not with anybody, with your inner self, falling in love with your person, going places you want to go, doing things you cherish, pursuing your passion, pursuing your dreams. This is what self-love is all about. Give yourself a treat. Buy new clothes if you can. Change your looks. If you usually have a particular pattern of hair you used to make, change. Change your entire looks. Let there be a revamping from your head to toe. It may not be too expensive. Just make sure there's something different about you, and make sure you look sexy. Make sure you do videos of yourself, hanging out with friends, and you just enjoy catching fun. Do that. It's very important. If he's to see your pictures on Facebook or on your status, he will see a new version of you. He'll begin to admire, wow, so is that my girlfriend? But if you are in his house, you can't achieve this, because he will know the day you bought the clothes. He will know the day you bought the new lipstick. You know the day you braided the hair. So don't do that. That is why I advise you stay off him. So these things you are doing will make him begin to look inward. It will make him begin to see how valuable you could be around his life. In conclusion, all the things I mentioned about creating scarcity, adding value to his life, and practicing self-love should not be something you do once in a while. It should become part and parcel of your love life. So don't add value in the name because you want him to marry you. No. Do things because that is who you are. These are the qualities men see in women and want to get married to. Please, I want you to go down to the comment section and then give me one value you got from this video. Oh, this is the part I don't like, where I will have to say goodbye. By tomorrow, I'll be telling you what to say and how to say it, and also meaning of possible answers he may give you. These are the things I'll be helping you dissect in tomorrow's video. So from this side, you know what? I love you. Please take care of this.